The intense battle continues as Vikir leaps above the giant demon Amdusias, preparing a fierce plunging attack with his sword covered in a red aura. Vikir rapidly drops down, landing many heavy glowing slashes across the demon's body. Amdusias takes the hits and is hurt, but its eyes glow fiercely with rage. In response, the large crystal on the demon's head begins to shine brightly, gathering energy. With sudden speed, Amdusias delivers a powerful strike that catches Vikir off guard. The sheer force of the blow heavily injures Vikir, making him spit blood from under his mask. Giving the swordsman no time to recover, the demon charges forward, aiming to stab him with its horn. Vikir quickly regains his balance and lunges forward, releasing a massive slash of red aura to stop the charging beast. The two giant attacks collide head-on, creating a blinding flash of light as their powers clash. Hanging in midair, Vikir puts all his strength into his downward strike, desperately holding back Amdusias' blue lightning. The huge pressure of their colliding auras violently explodes, sending shockwaves of pink and blue energy and breaking the stone. From a safer spot above, several figures watch the blast. Among them is one of the Baskerville triplets, bravely carrying the young girl, Pomerian, to safety. They watch the fight unfold with deep concern for Vikir. Nearby, Tudor, Sancho, and Bianca also see the chaos. They look on in total shock, wondering how the situation became a battle between a monster and the Night Hound. In another area, Camus Morgue watches the clash closely, with fierce determination and sweat on her face, while the small demon seer floats behind her. As the shockwaves from the huge explosion tear through the stadium, a small figure takes cover in the rubble. The hidden person is Sinclair, who looks out from under a fallen stone. She looks completely terrified, recognizing the Night Hound and the scary scale of the battle in front of her. Amdusias laughs mockingly at the Night Hound, throwing a massive lightning punch to test his limits. The strong force of the strike forces Vikir to block with his red blade, making him slide violently backward across the broken floor. The battle draws dangerously close to the bystanders. Just below the ledge where Vikir was pushed, Piggy crouches in fear, watching the clash while protecting an unconscious classmate. Looking at the battlefield, Vikir touches his magic ring but realizes he cannot activate its barrier. He knows that using large-scale magic would cause too much damage and endanger the nearby students. Forced to rely only on his physical strength, Vikir grips his glowing blade tightly. He calculates his remaining energy and realizes he only has enough strength to use the Baskerville's 8th technique once. Remembering his life or death struggles against the other elite demons, Vikir hardens his resolve to treat this monster with the exact same deadly precision. Vikir charges back into the fight, his red aura clashing against the demon's blue lightning in rapid strikes. He waits for the exact moment the beast's power drops so he can finish it in one blow. Suddenly, Amdusias lunges forward aggressively, noticing a brief drop in the human's focus. Taking the quick chance, the demon drives a very powerful knee strike directly into Vikir's chest. The brutal impact creates a shockwave of force, instantly launching the Night Hound helplessly into the air. Amdusias glares at Vikir with glowing red eyes. Suddenly, a bright burning golden light bursts from inside the demon's body, violently breaking its skull-like face. The monster's jaw drops in pure pain and terror as the holy light pours out from the expanding cracks in its head. The reason for the demon's sudden collapse is revealed. Below, Headmaster Winston's soul is bathed in divine light, crying tears of regret. He is completely purified as the Pope gently holds his hand, offering complete forgiveness. Because Winston accepted forgiveness, his dark contract with the monster is broken. As its body crumbles from the severed link, a furious Amdusias roars in anger at the headmaster for betraying it. Bleeding but determined, Vikir takes the brief chance and shouts a command to his living pendant, Decorabia, ordering it to act. The small star-shaped pendant detaches from Vikir and flies fast through the air, trailing red energy as it stops above the weak demon. Using its magic power, Decorabia rapidly grows in size, shining intense red light over the battlefield. The giant pendant slams down forcefully onto Amdusias, pinning the giant beast against the ruined floor and completely stopping it from moving. Crushed under the heavy weight of the magic, Amdusias looks up and curses Decorabia, screaming at the pendant for being a traitor to its kind. The demon's skeletal face continues to break further, glowing brightly from within as it struggles in vain to break free. Watching the critical moment, Dolores reaches out with fierce determination, her eye glowing with a holy cross as she channels divine energy to help hold the dark creature down. Upon seeing this, the demon is shocked. Using every last ounce of his remaining strength, Vikir activates the Baskerville's 8th technique, creating giant fangs of solid red aura around his dagger. The final strike hits the demon's head directly, causing a massive, blinding explosion of pink and red energy that covers the monster and breaks the arena's floor. As the huge blast fades and the dust settles, thick smoke rises from the ruins. Amdusias's skull-like face has been completely destroyed by the attack, leaving only a bloody corpse. Vikir stands exhausted, breathing heavily as he looks at his defeated enemy. Panting heavily from the massive effort, Vikir stands his ground, glad that his desperate attack neutralized the threat. Breathing hard and dripping with sweat, he thinks that, unlike in his past life, he has successfully stopped the activation of the demon's ultimate power, the Tree of Falling. Dolores runs toward him with a joyful smile, cheering that they finally won. Vikir shares her relief, knowing that Headmaster Winston only needs to officially break his contract to end the nightmare. Looking at the distant golden light where the Pope is purifying Winston, Vikir feels safe, believing the dangerous trigger for the demon's true power was kept with the Headmaster. However, the brief peace is violently broken. Without warning, a massive bloody hole bursts right through Winston's chest from behind. The Pope stares at him in frozen horror. Vikir's red eye widens in pure shock as he senses the sudden, deadly turn of events. Winston looks down at his destroyed chest in pure disbelief, blood pouring from the fatal wound as he weakly stutters, unable to understand what just happened. His lifeless body falls heavily onto the cracked floor, leaving the Pope kneeling in despair beside his corpse. The nightmare is far from over. Behind a stunned Vikir, the ruined corpse of Amdusias begins to violently twitch and stand back up, letting out a dark chuckle from the shadows. The demon's horrific, half-destroyed face reforms. It looks down at Vikir, mocking humanity for being so simple-minded and naive. Hovering above the ruined stadium, Amdusias laughs at their foolishness for thinking it would ever leave such an important gamble to a human. The monster reveals a scary truth. The trigger to activate the Tree of Falling was always kept safely inside the demon itself. Gritting his teeth in frustration, Vikir demands to know why the monster waited until it was nearly destroyed to use its true power. With a twisted grin through its ruined jaws, Amdusias explains that it was just for its own sick entertainment. The demon loves watching humans struggle with false hope, just to savor the look of total despair on their faces when they are thrown into hell. The demon taunts Vikir, saying that his furious and helpless expression right now is incredibly satisfying to watch. Vikir glares back, his eye glowing with pure rage as the true battle begins. Driven by pure fury, Vikir screams the demon's name and lunges in a desperate, reckless attack. However, his attack is quickly stopped when thick, dark red vines suddenly burst directly from the bracelet on his wrist. Vikir is completely surprised as the thorny roots rapidly wrap around his body, trapping him before he can react. He is instantly immobilized and falls to the ground, bound tightly in a dark cocoon while Amdusias looks on in victory. The demon finally unleashes the terrifying, full power of the Tree of Falling. Massive vines violently burst from the earth, spreading rapidly across the entire ruined stadium. The dark roots target the terrified students, forcefully grabbing them as they try to flee. Amdusias cruelly mocks them, claiming that the ugly nature of humanity is about to be revealed. Enjoying the panic and chaos, the demon declares this a fitting stage for humans to betray and slaughter each other, demanding they serve as the first sacrifices for a new age. The nightmare reaches Dolores too. She watches in stunned horror as the same dark vines burst from her own bracelet, beginning to wrap around her as she desperately calls out to Vikir for help. Trapped inside his tightening cocoon, Vikir struggles helplessly, looking toward Dolores with a heavy heart. Seeing her being consumed by the demon's trap, a tear falls from his eye as he softly apologizes to her for not being strong enough. The dark vines completely enclose him, sealing him away in darkness as Vikir bitterly accepts his failure to change the tragic future. The newcomer is the Pope. This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.